There we go, with the fish on. Louisiana redfish at its best. Rooster on the wild coast.
Florida Keys bonefish on the Hobie.
Welcome to Hobie Outdoor Adventures. It's the third annual Hobie Bass Open on Kentucky and Barkley Lake. 104 anglers from all over the country and Canada are here to try to earn 2 spots on Team North America to compete in the Hobie Fishing World 6.
Winning 2 back-to-back, you know, that's asking a lot, but it would be sweet. You know, I appreciate the camaraderie that I've seen here, and it's competitive, so that's my game plan. I'm gonna win it, and that's the mindset that I'm going into.
World Championship this year is in Leeville, Louisiana, which is basically about 80 miles from my house. So I've fished down there since I was a little bitty kid, and it would be a great chance to go down there and fish in my home waters.
I'm here because I want to earn that spot for the USA. So that's what's at stake. There's great prizes and good money up for grabs, but I think everybody's here to earn that spot. That's what I'm here for.
The Hobie Bass Open is a 2-day tournament, and anglers will need to catch their 3 largest bass each day.
Anglers are using a digital camera or their camera phone to take pictures on a certified hog trough. They will then turn those pictures in to the iAngler app.
The catch photo and the length they record will go directly to the tournament director. He'll do the scoring, and it will be immediately posted to the live leaderboard. That way viewers can watch online, and the anglers actually watch themselves, watch each other to see how they're doing during the tournament.
And everybody's got their cell phone, so just being able to use that, already knowing how to use it, just cuts down on a lot of the mess and frustration with trying to, you know, keep a camera on standby.
There's a lot more at stake this year with a bigger field. Not only do we have more cash, more prizes, but we also have 2 spots to represent Team USA at the Hobie Fishing World 6 in Louisiana.
This is the 3rd visit to Kentucky Dam Village on Kentucky Lake. First year we had 33 anglers, our second year we had 78, and this year we had 104 combined anglers between our youth and adult divisions.
This is one of the biggest events of the year, not just for Hobie, but just for kayak fishing in general. This brings out anglers from all across the country coming here to try to earn an opportunity to go fish the Hobie Worlds, and also just to compete against everybody that you don't get to see every day. So it's really an exciting event.
Well, Kentucky Dam creates the largest man-made lake in the eastern United States. It backs up the Tennessee River for 184 miles and creates Kentucky Lake that stretches south across the western tip of Kentucky and nearly the entire width of Tennessee. Kentucky Lake covers 2,380 miles of shoreline and 160,000 acres of water.
I may be a little biased, but Kentucky Lake is the best fishery in the state of Kentucky or anywhere as far as I'm concerned, and we host fishing tournaments, FLW tournaments. Hobie's here this weekend, so there's fishing tournaments on this lake, and we're certainly glad to have not only the participants but their families here, and we hope they tell their friends and families about it and come back and visit us again.
A lot of anglers have been out here through the week trying to find a good pattern. The reports that we're hearing are that some anglers are finding fish shallow in the mornings on a pretty good topwater bite. Then there's also a lot of anglers that have gotten way off the bank fishing main lake ledges and main lake points.
Hobie Outdoor Adventures is brought to you by Lowrance, celebrating 60 years of fish finding excellence. Find, navigate, dominate with Lowrance. Rhino Rack, the world's most useful roof racks. Power Pole, Micro Anchor, swift, silent, secure, and small. And by AFTCO, American Fishing Tackle Company. Welcome back to Hobie Outdoor Adventures. Well, it's the first day of the 3rd annual Hobie Bass Open on the legendary fisheries of Kentucky and Barkley Lakes. 104 anglers launch their kayaks early in the morning and start searching for 3 big bass. The weather forecast indicates a little chance of some rain and storms showing up today, but tomorrow is looking to be really good for the anglers to pull through on the final day of the Hobie Bass Open. We begin our coverage with the defending champion, Tyson Peterson from Versailles, Kentucky. Last year it worked so well when he teamed up with his good friend Jay Wallen. So today, they're fishing together again, hoping to repeat what they did last year.
Well, last year Tyson came out here and kicked everybody's tail. I was in there with him. Tyson obviously won this spot right here. I came in third.
I've been switching between a jig. I'm throwing a white hair jig right now. And then I've got some bigger worms, around 10 inch. When they haven't been generating, it seems like the jig's been a little bit better. I haven't had a bite today, so nothing's really working right now. But
stay pinned. He's a little guy, but you got to start somewhere. Got my camera ready. I've got my token already attached to my hog trough. And so I got to make sure his mouth is closed. I got to get that tail to lay flat. He's a little guy, 14 inches.
We're now checking in with Rob Milam from Cedar Hill, Texas. Milam is not new to Hobie Bass Open. He was the runner-up from the inaugural tournament in 2014.
Started off this location this morning at first light, and fish were schooled up on this ledge. Right at the official start time, started catching them, had a quick limit. My 3 first fish were my 3 best fish, so right now we're just sort of waiting out the current. Got a little wind today, so which is something that we haven't had in the last week. So whenever they start generating with this wind, the bite should turn on. I feel like I need to get about 9 more to feel comfortable. 51 inches is a start, but we got a lot of daylight hours left for me to upgrade. So here in a little bit, I'll probably start throwing some big baits and just trying to get a big fish.
Now, let's join Ron Champion from Richmond Hill, Georgia. It was a stroll for him. The fish were scattered throughout the day.
I'm just paddling around until I locate them, and then I'll throw a marker out, and then I'll turn around and I'll fish it. It might be 1 single fish, it might be 20 fish. I've got the Elite 7 chirp. Really right now all I'm doing is watching my GPS, and then I'm using sonar. I'm not even using my down scan, and I'm really picking up some good fish. It's working pretty well. 14 and a half. That's what I got, is 14 and a half. How wide that fish is. That fish has been out here for a while.
It's a grind for Kevin Workman from Lincoln, Nebraska, but he managed to catch 3 this morning.
Yesterday they were chasing shad and I was able to catch them on crankbaits, and today they're just kind of scattered on the bottom, so I'm using a small plastic and I'm just getting kind of random bites here and there, fishing the edges of the ledges.
This fish is completely random. He's on a spot that I've been fishing over and over. He just been a little crawdad style bait. That should move me up into the top 10 for sure. I would assume.
Yes. That was good right there.
Matthew Scotch from Fort Worth, Texas made a good TV moment on Hobie Outdoor Adventures a couple of years back. In the first Hobie Bass Open, Scott showed his dedication by jumping into the lake after the fish flipped and threw his identifier in the water.
Well, my big bass today is 21 inches. It was a real nice, almost 6-pound fish. Lost another real nice one at the boat, and then I got 2 others that are kind of average size, 16 and a half. We're catching our fish, measuring them, and submitting the photos to iAngler. It's a really great way to kind of keep up with the tournament, to keep up with your status when you're on the water, It's a major league fishing style of kayak fishing. It's really neat. You know, your family can follow along at home, and you know, I got a lot of people cheering for me back in Texas, and you know, I just kind of hope I can keep it up and maybe get another big bite or two, you know.
Because of anglers using the iAngler tournament app to submit their fish right when they catch it into the kayaks, the day one results are completed in no time. Ron Champion sits on top with 57.25 inches with the help of a 19.75-inch bass.
I came up here 3 days of practice before the tournament, put my time in. I felt confident that I would catch them today. I did, even though it was a grind. So just got to go out and repeat it tomorrow.
Jay Wallen is in second place with 56 inches. Wallen started off slow with smaller fish, but surged back into the top 5 with a big bass of the day at 22 inches.
I honestly didn't even think it was a bass. It came up, it didn't hit that hard. Came up, I thought I had a drum. It got closer to the boat and I realized I had, I guess, the biggest bass I've ever caught in the state of Kentucky, so it's a pretty big day for me out there.
And in third place is Matthew Scotch with a total of 54 inches.
The two that win this tournament, the first and second place, go to the Hobie Fishing Worlds. And if they go, they're going to be in a way different place, going after way different species than bass. We're going to be going after redfish, trout, and flounder. And they're going to be out of their comfort zone, but that's the fun about it. You get to take yourself out of your comfort zone and try your skills against some of the best in the world.
So day one is in the book. We have over 250 fish checked in. Day two is going to be as exciting, so stay tuned. Hobie Outdoor Adventures will be right back with full coverage of the 2016 Hobie Bass Open. Welcome back to Hobie Outdoor Adventures and coverage of the third annual Hobie Bass Open. For 3 years in a row now, it's held on Kentucky Lake and Lake Barkley, based out of the Kentucky Dam Village State Resort Park. As we expected, today's weather condition is much better than yesterday. We start our final day with third place from day one, Matthew Scotch.
You never know when you come fishing. Some days you're going to get the big ones, some days you're not. You know, I was fortunate to get a nice big fish yesterday and land a good kicker. It was a good day of fishing, you know, a good day of hanging out. I fished this tournament the past 3 years, and I think this is the best one out of all of them. Every year it keeps getting bigger and better, and, you know, I can't wait to see what next year has in store. I got tangled in that rod I had hanging off the front. That was probably about an 18-incher. So that could definitely come back to haunt me.
The defending champion, Tyson Peterson, got a couple of bites earlier, but then it all kind of turned off.
Little guy. It's the smallest fish I've ever caught on a ledge. He's 12 3/4. Almost 13. Puts me on the board. Yeah, I don't think I had him hooked, actually. He just didn't want to let go. He was hungry.
That's a big one. Stay on, stay on. Woo!
Nice, dude.
That's what I needed. Knock my head off. Whew. Got me a little excited. Might go 19.5.
Nice.
When I got into a kayak, I got invited to go on a trip with a bunch of friends to the New River in Virginia. And I didn't have a kayak at that point, so I just went. So the next year when I went back, I had bought a kayak. I had a bass boat, so I really just intended to use it for that particular trip. A little bit of time went on and I realized I enjoyed fishing out of the kayak. And so I ended up buying a Hobie, and I bought an Outback. Then all of a sudden these tournament trails started popping up, and one thing led to another. I ended up selling the bass boat, and now I fish exclusively out of a Hobie. So.
Caleb Workman is fishing with his brother Kevin, who sits in 4th place on the leaderboard.
It's been hit or miss. We've got a few that I've lost at the boat and marking them, but they turn on throughout the day, and then we get them fired up, we'll get a couple, and then wait a couple more hours for some more. My brother, and he has been killing it. So hopefully he can get his kicker, and he should be right in the thick of things.
The day's been really tough. There's been crazy boat traffic. I mean, 5 times the amount of boats we had yesterday. It was calm, there's no current being pulled. Luckily, the wind picked up some, and a lot of the recreational guys got off the water. I'm finally getting the chance to get on some of these fish that I know are living out here on this ledge. I just picked up my biggest fish of the day about 20 minutes ago. It's a 19 3/4. I haven't even looked at the leaderboard. I'm not exactly where I'm at. I'm somewhere around probably 50 1/4 inches on the board, but I'm holding back that 19 3/4. I'm not gonna let the competition know that, you know, I've got a good fish in the bag. I'm gonna keep that back, you know, not let them fish any harder.
Well, it's 1 o'clock, and Eric Siddiqui has already got his limit. He's submitting his 3rd fish of the day, a 17-inch bass, his biggest fish so far. Find out who'll earn 2 spots to represent Team USA at the Hobie Fishing World 6, presented by Rhino Rack, when we come back. Hobie Outdoor Adventures has been brought to you by Daiwa, advancing the sport of fishing. Hobie Polarized, trusted, quality, heritage. St. Croix Rod, best rods on earth. And by Yak Attack, rigging the dream.
One of the big things that we noticed after the Hobie tournament last year was how many people were actually online, hitting the website, particularly the leaderboard, watching the tournament online, watching to see how the anglers were doing. So we actually enhanced the leaderboard a bit, made it a lot easier to get to. Friends and family back at home can actually watch it on the phone, load the app, and they can actually see it without having to be part of the tournament. But they can keep up all around the country, all around the world.
Well, it's time for weigh-in. Anglers are heading back to the headquarters at the Kentucky Dam Village to find out who gets to represent Team USA at the Hobie Fishing World 6 in Louisiana. But first, congratulations to Diver O'Brien from Benton, Kentucky. O'Brien won the youth division with an impressive 90-inch limit. He said he flipped Senkos at the docks. Coming in 3rd in the adult division is Jay Wallen, with a total of 106.25 inches, receives $1,500 and collects another $300 for Big Bass of the tournament, a 22-incher caught on day 1. Wallen also finished 3rd last year at the event.
Well, I got 3rd again. I can't complain about that though. 3rd place is 3rd place. Out of 103 anglers, I'll take that any day. People here at Kentucky Lake, they take care of us. They know how to host an event. Hobie came down, put on a show. This is by far the best run event. It's the most enjoyable one that I fish all year, so it's been awesome.
The 2nd place belongs to Matthew Scotch with a total of 108.25 inches. Scotch will have his entry fee paid for him. He also won $2,350 for his 2nd place finish.
As soon as I saw that the Hobie Worlds was going to be in Louisiana, I was going to do everything I could at this tournament to do my best and qualify. And then I saw that they were qualifying 1st and 2nd place. And then I was like, man, I really do have a chance this year because I win 2nd all the time. I hardly ever win, but I get 2nd all the time. So, you know, now I'm going to the Hobie Worlds, so I couldn't be more excited.
And the winner of the 3rd annual Hobie Bass Open is Ron Champion. Champion won on the strength of his day 1 57.25-inch 3-bass tally. On day 2, he gambled precious fishing time and drove 2 hours south to the quieter waters of New Johnsonville, where the shad were spawning. Then on his last cast, he hooked into a 16.75-inch upgrade. He ended the day with 51.50 inches of bass, which proved to be just enough. With a total of 108.75 inches, just half an inch over Scotch, champion won $3,500 and all expenses paid trip to the Hobie Fishing World 6.
I mean, it was everything. It's what I came for. This is my third year competing in this event, and I've been close with 7th place in 2014. I got 15th last year, and you get close, you just, I mean, I wanted it bad. I mean, like really, really bad. I wanted to be able to represent a company like Hobie. I wanted that Team USA spot, and to get that, it's I'm still pretty shook up over it.
In all, Hobie Bass Open paid out cash and prizes totaling over $10,000 to the top 10 winners. And here's the rest of the leaderboard. Well, that's a wrap for the 3rd Hobie Bass Open. Special thanks to Kentucky Dam Village. Their entire team went to extraordinary lengths to make sure everyone involved in the Open was welcomed. Hey, thank you for watching, and remember, you can always watch all of our previous episodes at HobieOutdoorAdventures.com. We'll see you next week on a new episode of Hobie Outdoor Adventures.